So we have rand int, and each one of these is random dot rand int. All right, I don't want to write random, a bunch of times. So random rand int from 0 to 10 gives us a number, a random number between 0 and 10. Right? Kind of just a random integer between bam, bam, good, done.
So we have to type in import random, then underneath that we would type in that line?
Yeah, so you import random at the very top of your code, and then you don't have to import it again. You just have to import it once per file.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's automatically set to global? Right?
Yeah, it's like a global variable, yeah. Paul?
Would you mind kind of going about that? Do we have to indent?
No.
Okay.
Would you mind just doing this on the computer? Because that makes me understand it better than you do. No, the board is.
Yeah.
I'll do both.
Yeah,
I'll go through this.
Definitely better.
I'll go through this, and then because then you have my little notes, and then I'll run through. I'll give an example on the. I'll do the code example. Does that work, Trevor? Okay.
I'm just confused on how you import the random.
You type import space random. That's all you do.
No, like don't you have to get the file though?
Nope, you don't have to do anything. I was just showing you the file.
Oh, I got so messed up by that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, you don't have to. You don't have to do any of that. Literally, all you type is import and the name of the module.
Wait, so it's built in?
It's built in.
Never mind.
Okay.
So I got very confused.
The way I'm
Alright.
looking at Connor's, it looks different than mine. I'm trying to do it like his, but when I did it with import random, and then I did import space random dot random here. When I do.
Yeah, it's import random. No, you don't need that. Just import random. And now you do random dot.
Okay.
Is this correct?
Well, what you guys are going to want to do.
But when I did it that time, I don't know why I didn't work this time. Like a whole list came up, and the
Of
random
options?
was on there. Yeah.
Yeah, so what it does, what Python does is if you do random dot, it then gives you a list of suggestions to speed up your coding.
That's genius. Wow.
Also, suggestion is like, hey, these are all the possible things you can do with random. We're obviously not going to go through them. We're going to go through the ones that are used the most.
Cool.
So, randint, you have to give it parameters, right? You have to give it a 0 and a 10. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, then we have random.rand range. This one's tricky. 0 to 10 is going to give me numbers. What do you guys think?
Do we?
It's 0 to 9.
Do we make that arrow?
Yeah, how do we make that?
Stuff?
No.
You don't. Do we just-
So the black stuff is what you type. The red stuff are what it means.
All right.
0 to 10, and this gives you 0 to
There's an
9.
arrow on that.
So range is one of those things, and we're going to use this for loops, but we're not into it yet. Loops with range, and I can't tell you 100% why they coded it this way, but it goes from x to y will give you x to y minus 1.
Wow.
So if I want part of it is, so if I want something to run 10 times, I go from 0 to 0 to 10. Because it counts 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Connor.
You know how in math with ordered pairs, if you use regular parens, it doesn't include it, but if you use brackets, it does? Is that true in Python?
Yes and no. It depends on this, not the brackets. It depends on whatever function you use here.
Yeah, but if you did random range and instead of parentheses you used brackets, then would it?
No, because brackets create a list, and a list is one object to Python.
Gotcha.
And we're going to go over lists in a couple weeks.
Okay.
But, so range, we're going to go over range more next week. But just so range goes from 0 to 10, gives you 0 to 9. Then we have, what's the next one? Random. So dot random You do not need parameters for this one. That will give you a random float from 0 to 0.9999. Well, to 1.
So that random just basically gives you a random number.
It gives you a random decimal number, which is cool if you're trying to like create a code or whatever, and then we're gonna multiply the number by random, and it's like 0.649218808, and then you just
So is there actually a random number then? Because like you're just pulling from the import random file.
a computer can't do true random. It's also very hard for a human to do something truly random, because if I said give me a random number of 1 through 10, it's not each number has, or 1 through 10. It's not each number is picked 10% of the time. It's like 7 and 3 are picked more often than 1 and 10.
So theoretically, couldn't you actually be able to figure out what the computer was going to pick?
Yes, if you knew exactly how it worked. Yeah.
It's a very complicated algorithm.
It is a very complicated algorithm because it could take. So you have so many processes on your computer running in the background. One is like a system clock, so it's keeping track of what time it is, how many ticks per, how many things are happening per second. So one of the ways it could, and I haven't gone through the code and broken it down to the point of that. But part of random is that it will take when they hit enter for random, what cycle or what process is happening, and in the list of processes that are happening in that second, what number is it? 14? Okay, we're going to use 14 as our base to figure out the random number. So it's difficult, but yes, it's possible. Masa.
Wait, so you're telling me right now that I can win the Powerball by hacking the system?
No.
Getting the numbers now? Isn't
No.
that what people do?
Yeah. They're very, well, no, they don't hack. So every computer is written by every code is written by someone. And if you know what language they use, right, which is really hard to figure out, you can eventually figure it out if you're smart enough.
So they can do it, but you can't.
No one in this school could do it, probably.
Well,
So-
Yeah, no one.
Not even you.
No.
But it is possible.
People have done it. I mean, you can go online. You have statisticians who have won the lottery 5 times.
Really?
And it's like, how do they do that? Well, they use stats and all this stuff, and they take. So, with computers, there's always a pattern. So if a computer is spitting out the same, random numbers, and you have enough of that information, you can figure out the pattern. No, you're not, Masa. Sorry.
I don't think you could win the $5 strip.
I won $2 off of this scratch.
You're not legally old enough to play the lottery, so I don't know how you do that.
I'd pay the $5 strip.
Trevor,
I'm sorry.
forget this is recorded.
Also, don't forget, if you say anything inappropriate, you're
My
supposed
bad.
to be kicked out of the academy.
That was not. The opportunity was there, and I took it.
All right. So now the last one is random uniform. All right, guys, stop talking. Random. Oh, it's random dot uniform. My bad.
Are we gonna need to memorize these or no?
Yes.
Will there be like a test on like the memorization of this stuff, or will we always have like?
There probably
access
should
to
be,
No.
otherwise I'd never.
No, it'll just be write a program,
Oh, okay.
and it's like
What do you use to write a program?
code, Python.
Is that the test, basically?
No, the test is can you do the problem I'm asking you to solve? And depending on how close you get, if you do it, you get full marks. And then if you don't, I go through and I'm like, well, Masa made one little mistake here that affected the rest of his code. 3 points off. Even though your code doesn't work at all. That's why it takes me a while to.
You only have one chance at it?
What do you mean you only have one chance at it?
You can only turn in the test one time.
Yes. But you can run it as often as you can.
Oh.
So you don't have one opportunity to turn it in. You write it, as many times, you run it and you have 45 minutes, however long you want it to take. And then random.uniform gives you, this one needs parameters. So from 0 to 5, this gives you a number from 0.0000001 to 4.9999999. I can't remember how many decimals, it's either 8 or 12. But it gives you a random float. So this uniform is a little bit like these two mixed. Connor.
Why would you use the uniform over the other ones?
If I want to randomly generate someone's wage, I don't know.
They'd be mad if you randomly generated their salary.
They would, but you asked me for a question and I answered it.
But I don't feel like you could use that in the real world and people would be okay with it.
You totally. How do you think they come up with pay? We'll pay you $10.50 an hour. Well, I want $10.50 too. Okay. I don't know. I'm just you asked a hypothetical question. I gave you a hypothetical answer.
I asked for a real world application.
A real world application of randomly generating a number and a float.
No, using the uniform
Over random?
Yeah.
Because random just gives me just this part. Right? It can never be greater than 1. So if I wanted to, I would then, if I wanted a bigger number, so let's say random gave me.
Oh, I see. It can't work in decimals below. I got it.
Right? Say it gave me this.
Yeah.
I would then have to multiply this by 10 to get 65.5321. Whereas here, I would just go 0 to 66 or whatever. And then it would give me both the whole number and the decimal. Does that make sense? All right. So that's 5, whatever. So let's jump on the code, and I'll do some examples up there. This isn't awkward at all. It's staring right at my face. All right, so I'm gonna stop this video.